Hi, I'm Jochen Schleser, founder of Saddle Fit for Life, and I'm so excited to see you again because this is our second webinar of the 6-part web series, The Fundamental of Saddle Fit. Most of you folks who have back pain most likely have it after riding. So I wanted to figure out what's this all about. So I surround myself with experts, people who write books about riders' pain, and I was astounded as a competitor myself, coach myself, saddle maker myself, how little we really know, how much different and how important it is that we got to look at the details, the difference between two beings. But before we go in there, we need to look at the question, what's the most important aid? The most important aid is pliable, the pliable seat. What's your seat? How we communicate to the horse. So the pictures down there are from the internet. You can see how people ride bareback, and often you see that kind of a movement on the horse's back will hurt your back, long-term damage. Okay, our body is not sustained to take that kind of an impact unless you use what nature gives us, the shock absorption. How do we do it? So we do it in the what we call the standing seat. You have your shoulder, hips, and heels one line. Your spine has 4 curves as shock absorption, and with your stirrups, your hip, your knee, and your ankle act also up as an absorption. And it's so important for you to lean left or right, or forward or back, because then you're off balance. So imagine you would do that on the barrel, you're floating down the river. So you want to have that perfect alignment, because then you sit soft, the horse is happy, and your back will not hurt, and you don't get a back pain. Here, if this horse would be a barrel, clearly we know where this rider would fall, backwards. But with knee rolls and cantles and all this and that, the rider somehow copes. But then we have long-term damage, which is written by medical doctors, but people who understand the biomechanics, physiology of the human body. So with that all said, why do riders do it? Well, they lean back like you see here, this pelvis on the horse without a saddle, protect themselves, right? You cannot crush your pubic symphysis. But then you lean backwards. What do? You lean forward to be over the balance part of your balance point and the horse's balance points. But on the bottom right picture, what you see the vertebrae put a number on the disc. And when the healthy disc starts to slip, that is super painful. And if it collapses, you need surgery. There's many riders who have L4, L5 surgery. So why there's so much confusion, misunderstanding when it comes to the saddle fit to the rider? Rider saddle fit perception. Remember, the equestrian industry has no regulation and a ton of misleading information, self-serving each individual interest, while ignoring the most important aid from the rider to the horse, which is what? The pliable seat. So anatomically appropriate saddles already exist in many other items, like jeans are made totally different for a male versus a female, right? So underwear, shoes, bicycles, why is there such a hoopla hoop when it comes to riding saddles? Well, I can tell you why, because over thousands of years, man made saddles for men, right? So thousands of years. And now, since 1978, the majority of the riders are women. But riding in saddles made for men. So what's the big difference? Look at the pelvis on the top left. More curvature in the lower back, shorter tailbone, because you ladies have a birth channel. Males have a straighter lower back, longer tailbone, which means our back is straighter, our butt cheeks are closer to the horse's back. Look on the bottom right. There you see the male. His butt cheek is close to the horse's back. So he sits in that standing seat in order to protect his back, right? Females, in order to sit in the standing seat, will have automatic this gap underneath her butt. Why? Because of the lower curvature and the shorter back. Okay, so you either deform your body, your skeleton, or you will hurt your back for long term. What else is different? Look at the musculature and look at the upper bones, like the femur of the rider on the male. We have more space between our upper inner thigh because we don't have the Q shape. What is Q shape? Look to the right, the femur pelvis. A longer neck on the femur, and then the knees come together. And your muscles, ladies, is more on the inside, where the guys have the muscles on the back. We have more an oval thigh. Ladies, you have more a rounder thigh. No matter how skinny or strong your legs are, is where these muscles are placed and how your bones are. Okay, this is not done by this guy or this lady or by this saddle maker or by that person who has an opinion. That's nature. This is how human differs in the pelvis. Now, saddles, exactly that area where your muscles and your bones are, have rails, also known as bars. So for Western riders who have the wrong round seat, they lift up their legs and put their legs on the fork just to relax the hip pain. And many, many female riders riding in saddles with the bars in an English saddles are completely wrong, not even matching their anatomically correct measurements. Right? They just sit on that, oh, so long it fits the horse, I'm okay. No, you're not. You're going to deform yourself, and I show you how. I didn't know all this. So on the inner thigh runs, on the bottom right, you see a word. What does it say? Sciatic nerve. When that gets pinched, you compensate. Before you even find the pain, your muscle will get crampy and will hold your from lots of sharp pain. And you're using the wrong aid to ride. Right? And sometimes you just push yourself back in the saddle only to put massive pressure on the back of the saddle. You see the holes on this horse here on the back, on this bottom right, to avoid this insane hip pain. So what's important things to know and avoid pain in the saddle? The saddle has four numbers. One is the seam difference. Two is the actual twist, what we just talked about. On the middle, on the top, you see the muscles on the inner thigh. On the bottom, you see the yellow dotted, or the dotted line, and that's sort of the seat foam. So that sits inside of that picture I have shown on the top left. This number 3 is the seat width. Guys have narrow seat bones. We don't have to have room for a baby's head to go through it. All ladies, even the small hip ladies, have wider seat bones like any male. Okay, so most of the time females say, I don't even feel my seat bones. I never felt a seat bone. So when a guy makes a saddle for a guy, we have a narrow seat width, number 3, and then we make it number 2, the seam nice and high and narrow, to create a rooftop, to part the rider's parts. So the male's part goes to the left or right. No woman wants to sit on the rooftop and sit on the pointy crotch. So that is very painful. We have done over hundreds of casts. There's a lady on the bottom, and this slide here sits on the cast. And you wouldn't believe how identical, no matter how tall, small, wide, skinny the person is, you can always recognize a female pelvis over a male pelvis. Unbelievable, right? So do yourself a favor, get yourself at least the 5 measurements on your body, okay? Here you see the pelvis axis. That means the male rider has a much easier way to balance himself on the horse because this pelvis axis, which means the balance point of the pelvis, is in the center. Ladies, yours is more forward. I'm sorry, don't shoot me, don't shoot the messenger. I haven't designed the beautiful female body, right? So this is what's done by nature. So when we understand about riding of a balance point, riding on the right saddle, please, there are 9 key points on the seat, 15 on the whole saddle, but the 9 are absolutely crucial for you to fit in the saddle. If you ignore it, you always will struggle with sitting shoulder, hip, and heels, and you will have not a perpendicular line, not a pliable seat, and your body will cramp and you will go in massive, massive pain. Please find a saddle fitters who give you the option of riding in the same saddle, black, 17.5, same company, to see the difference between male and female saddle. It blows your mind. Okay? Get a saddle fitter who has a sizing saddle, who watches you ride in your saddle and then in the sizing saddle. Sizing saddle means in the Western saddle or English saddle, they put the right ground seat in for the measurements you are. Okay? So, and then you can try it and see how incredible this is, right? So please understand, and you know that in your heart, you want harmony, you want to love your horse, you want to ride without pain. My suggestion to you, surround yourself with tons of experts. I done it in the veterinarian side. I surround myself with many professors who look at the horse from the anatomy, physiology, biomechanics, and to medical doctors for the rider to understand, or what I just shared with you, which is just a fraction. But these are the important things to know. Educate till you find the right saddle fitters. Or if you're eager to expand your knowledge a little bit more, want to find a solution to your saddle fitting problems, look no further. Our evidence-based saddle fit education is comprehensive online courses designed to deepen your understanding of anatomically correct saddle fit for you, special for you and your horse. Okay, Saddle Fit for Life Academy.com. You see tons and tons of courses.
For more free educational content, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. Or if you're interested in furthering your education beyond free content, we'd love to chat with you. You can book a call with one of our instructors to learn more about our courses. We offer evidence-based saddle fit education that is online and self-paced, so you can fit it to your own schedule. And we have different courses both for horse owners and riders, as well as for equine professionals, and continuing professional development credit for veterinarians as well. I can't wait to see you in the next video, or maybe even welcome you to the Saddle Fit for Life Academy permanently.